Today, on The Explainer, we're diving into a story that's all about ambition, philosophy, and family. It's called The Ahmad Project, and it's about a plan, a grand plan, to build a family empire that ended up doing the exact opposite. It brought them right to the edge of total collapse.
So where does this story start? It starts with a number. Just 11. That's right, 11. 11 brothers and sisters in the Hajj family. And you gotta picture this. They all grew up in one single room in a tiny village in Lebanon. I mean, their whole childhood packed into one space. You can't get much closer than that, right? But as you'll see, that very closeness was about to be pushed to its absolute limit. And that brings us to the core puzzle of this whole thing. How did one brother, Ahmad, the one with this huge vision to get his family out of poverty, to create a brand new future for them, how did he become the guy who basically designed their downfall? Okay, so to figure that out, we've got to go back to the beginning, back to the family, and the first signs that things were starting to fall apart.
You know, the war didn't kick off with some big screaming match. No, it started with text messages. Ahmad, one by one, sent these incredibly blunt, just brutal labels to his siblings. To his brother Ali, just one word, sick. To his sister Mona, coward. And to Muhammad, your jealousy ruined everything. Think about that. These weren't conversations. They were judgments, verdicts, sent over a text message that just lit a fire under the whole family.
So, if he's dishing all this out, what label did he have for himself? Well, when someone asked him, he used one of the most vicious insults you can say in Arabic. I am the son of a dog. Wow. I mean, on one hand, that's some deep self-hatred, right? But it's also totally defiant. It's like he's leaning into being the bad guy, the outcast, the one who won't just let things go. And he's setting himself up against the very people he claimed he was trying to save. So what was this grand plan anyway? What was this vision that caused all this drama? Well, Ahmad called it his social experiment. And listen, this wasn't just about starting a company. Not at all. For Ahmad, this social experiment was supposed to be a completely new way for people to live together. He stopped seeing his family as just family. They became raw material for this massive global project that he thought could change everything for them, and even, somehow, fix things back in Lebanon. And his plan? It was wild. Step 1, he literally sends his siblings all over the globe. One to Germany, another to Italy, someone else was supposed to go to France. Step 2, they're all supposed to soak up these different cultures and experiences. Then, step 3, they bring all that knowledge back together and forge it into this powerful new entity. And the end goal, step 4, to use that power to improve their home country, Lebanon, from the outside. But the whole thing just blew up in his face. It backfired big time. And here's how Ahmad put it, which is just so telling. My house became exactly like Lebanon. He started to see his family not as his brothers and sisters, but as these warring political factions. You know, like the ones that have divided his country for decades. The family home basically turned into a civil war zone. And his brother, Mahmoud, he summed up the tragedy of it all perfectly. He said that the very power Ahmad was trying to build by uniting them, well, in the end, that power turned against him. The strength he wanted to create became the very thing that tore them apart. So, as this whole experiment was collapsing, communication it died. And what took its place? A really bitter war of words, all playing out on these intense, chaotic group phone calls. And you can hear it in the recordings of their calls. It's just this endless, painful loop of blame. Ahmad, you can hear him. He's feeling the pressure of it all, and he just lashes out. I am telling you, you are failing me as a brother. But he'd get it thrown right back at him. His brother Ali would shoot back, and you are failing me too, a lot. It's like nobody would take an ounce of the blame. Every accusation was just met with another one. And eventually, you just hear Ahmad, the guy who started this whole thing, you just hear him break. He's pleading, stop blaming me, stop blaming me. For him, it wasn't constructive criticism. It was just a constant attack he couldn't take anymore. At the end of the day, this whole massive conflict really boils down to two completely different ways of seeing the world. And it's perfectly captured in a conversation between Ahmad and his mom, Ali. She's begging him, trying to make peace, saying, forgetting is a blessing. If you don't forget, you'll just burst. But Ahmad's reply? It tells you everything you need to know about him. He says, a dog never forgets. For him, forgetting isn't healing, it's weakness, it's betraying the truth. And that's the gap between them, right there. A mother who wants to mend and a son who demands that every single wound be accounted for.
So, where does that leave Ahmad now? He's basically standing in the ruins of his own grand project. But has he given up? Nope, not at all. Instead, he's just reframed the whole thing.
He now sees this entire family disaster as a game, a really high-stakes game. He says, the problem is a game I'm playing, and the level is high, but I have to win. And that's not just a saying for him, it's like his new operating manual. Calling it a game lets him step back from the emotion and turn all this chaos into a strategy puzzle, one that he's absolutely determined to solve.
And of course, every game has to have rules. And these are Ahmad's rules. It's the super methodical, almost cold plan to fix everything. He says he needs to cleanse the minds, make everyone admit what they did wrong, and then reassemble the dismembered body of the family. This isn't about forgiveness. This is about a total system reboot, and it's all on his terms. And that's the core of his new worldview. He doesn't see the family as broken. He sees it as a dismembered body. And in his mind, he's the only surgeon who can put all the pieces back together again. For Ahmad, this isn't over. It's just a really gruesome but necessary reconstruction phase. Which, of course, leaves us with one big hanging question. Ahmad is convinced he's the only one who can fix this mess. He thinks he holds the key to winning the game. But can a family, this living, breathing thing full of emotions and history, can it really be put back together by the very same person who designed its collapse? That is the unanswered question at the heart of the Ahmad Project.